Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another video. My name is Andy J, and that's short for Andrea. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hello if you are someone who regularly checks my channel. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Alright, so I have a lot of things to update you guys on. So first off, I did get my extensions put in, and I'm absolutely in love. So there's actually 7 wefts of hair in my head right now, so it's pretty crazy. And I still had 2 more pieces that I decided not to get put in because I thought it would be too thick. So yeah, this is my hair. So my hairstylist is Tara from Every Piece Salon in Honolulu. She does a phenomenal job every single time, and I just love it. So yeah. Today's video, I'm going to take you guys on a little adventure. I'm going to get some recovery work done. So I'm getting cupping, scraping, and just like, I don't even know what else comes in the package. This is my first time going to this place. It's called Holt Fitness. It's located in central Oahu. So it'll be about like a 25-minute drive because I'm townside. So gonna drive up there and get some recovery work done. I'm specifically going to have them focus on my legs because your girl got her new training program. Okay, so like I said, your girl got her new training program, so that means I have 3 days a week of just like leg day or posterior chain focused workouts, and then I have 2 upper body days that focus on like pushing, so delts and arms, and then the other one is just like upper body, back, and shoulder focused. I already did my first upper body workout yesterday, and I'm actually feeling a little tight today, so I know that we're doing some good work. I especially feel it in my rear delts, which is great because the way that things are laid out in my program, that's exactly what we're like targeting, was my rear delts. So that's good there. Today will be a leg day, so I'll take you guys along with for that as well. But let me give you an update on my whole birth control IUD situation. So I had my consultation appointment with my new OBGYN, and we discussed getting the copper IUD, which, just like what I suspected last video, we do not have any in stock on island, so I have to have that ordered and shipped over, so it'll probably take about 2-ish weeks, so I won't get it inserted until July. And 2 things that I kind of want to briefly mention. So I've actually had an IUD in the past, but it was hormonal. So it was, I believe, the Mirena. And I had that taken out just because I felt like an overall heaviness on the front side of my abdomen, almost my uterine area, whenever I would squat. And that was also around the time I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So just out of an abundance of caution, I had it taken out. This time the copper IUD obviously is hormone-free, which I've been very sensitive to hormones lately. It's been making me super nauseous in the middle of the night, which is one of the reasons why I want to switch away from oral contraceptive to something that is not hormonal. So with my IUD of the past, I'm very nervous, I will not lie, about getting this copper IUD inserted because the first time around, my implant was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I would give it a straight 10 out of 10, and coming from a nurse, that is a big deal. I've had tattoos, I've had lip injections, I've had Botox, I've had laser hair removal, I've had waxing, I've had piercings, you name it. I've had a tonsillectomy. That one was pretty bad, but out of all of those things, the most painful and traumatizing experience was getting my IUD put in. So I wish it could be done under conscious sedation or like under general, because it was that bad for me. It feels like your organ inside your body is being pierced, because it is. Like you're going past the cervix up into the uterus. Even though they gave me medication to soften my my cervix the night before, that did not make an inkling of difference. I believe I was prescribed Xanax before my procedure. that also, like, while it felt good in the car ride and I felt good in the office, it did little to nothing for my pain. So what was the point in doing that? Did you think I would forget? The answer is no, I did not. I vagaled. I had to stay in the office with the lights off, drinking juice, having a washcloth over my face, and like not being able to stand up until I was done being hypotensive. And then I threw up in the parking lot. So it was very traumatic for me. I'm not exactly looking forward to getting the copper IED in for those very reasons. So I'll keep you guys updated on how my second go around goes. I'm just hoping I do better than the first time. But on that note, it's getting close to time for me to leave, so I'm going to make my breakfast here. My check-ins this week, nothing has changed, so my protocols are pretty much still the same. So training 5 days a week, 35 minutes of cardio, 6 times a week steady state, and then my macros, I actually looked them up for you guys, but let me just keep my phone on me just to double check. My food did not drop this week, and my cardio did not change this week. So let me just pull this up really quick. Okay, so on training days, protein is 150, carbohydrates are at 220, and my fats are only at 35 grams, which that actually surprised me that I was eating so very little fat. It doesn't really feel like it, but I guess when you break it down, I guess it does. On rest days, protein is at 140, carbohydrates at 156, and fats at 42 grams. Now, rest days, I can definitely tell my calories are only at 1,500. Your girl is pretty hungry, and I usually wake up starving the next day. And then my training kcals, that makes it at 1716 total. So I didn't realize I was eating so very few calories, but because we're getting very aggressive with this cut, I suppose that makes sense. So, but anyways, time to make my 50 grams of oatmeal, 2 eggs, 100 grams of egg whites, and I am supposed to have 100 grams of banana, but your girl's out of bananas, so I'll just have to omit that for later. So let's get to making breakfast. Alright, I'm in my car. I'm about to drive up to Aiea. So I have my breakfast here, and I'm going to eat that along the way. I just have to mention how beautiful the Hawaiian Islands are first thing in the morning. It's hard for me to get up early sometimes, but it's so worth it whenever you're coming out here to do a hike, run errands. There's just something about the stillness and beauty of waking up in Hawaii, and I love it. So, alright, let's get to Aiea and get some body work done. I think I have arrived. 2 things about Hawaii. 1, we have no signage. I can never find anything anywhere at any time. So it's always an adventure for me to figure out where in the hell the building is. Secondly, there's almost never anywhere to park, ever.
there's very limited amount of parking. You better get there early. You better know where you're going. And if you don't have a parking space available, well, you better have a backup plan, because that is Hawaii to a T. So I'm gonna go walk around and see if I can find where the hell this building is. Be right back. Alright, just got back from getting my cupping, Graston, and massage done on my legs. I had her work specifically on my legs, especially my IT band, because that area's been super tight, and of course my quads. She did notice that my right side was worse than my left side, so for some reason I am compensating, which is weird because I always find myself left leg dominant. Like, I always have my left leg forward for when I do gymnastics for a little bit, and whenever I go surfing, like, I'm left leg forward. So I don't know why I'm compensating. Even when I'm posing, I'm on my left hip. I'm sinking into that left hip more than anything. So don't know what's going on with my right side, but I do agree, because it was a little bit more like painful on that side. But overall, such a good experience. I went to Holt Fit Hawaii, which is in Aiea. That was amazing. The first thing she did was she really like pushed my hips into alignment and did like a glute massage, which most places I feel like don't go there. You know, they're afraid to like touch that area, but as a bikini competitor, your glutes are everything. And it was just amazing how she really dug in and treated the area. So I really appreciated that. So yeah, I've had Graston done before. I find really good results with that. Cupping, not so much, but also I feel like she just did a very tremendous, thorough job. So maybe I didn't find benefits from cupping just because of the practitioner that I had. So it'll be nice to see. I got a combination of like all three things: massage, cupping, and Graston. And not just a stationary cups either. She used a gliding technique where she glides across with the cup, which is that feels so good. It hurts, but it feels so good at the same time. So I'm excited, because anytime I get Graston work done and I hit a leg day, I always hit PRs. Now it's going to be hard for me to assess this time around because I have a new training program. So I kind of start off with, you know, I have to figure out what my numbers are and then progress it from there. So may not exactly be PRs today, but I have a feeling today's leg session is going to be really good. So I didn't film anything at Holt Fit just because I was running a little late, because I could not find the building. I had spent like 10 to 15 minutes circling the parking lot just finding them. I had to call them twice to ask where they were located. The signage is just no joke out here in Hawaii. Like, I was like, where in the hell are you? So I actually ended up being a little late, so I felt flustered, and I was like, I'm not gonna ask if I can film after I am 7 minutes late. Like, I felt bad. So yeah, here I am now. Now I'm trying to decide, do I want to go back to sleep because I'm really tired and I haven't had caffeine? Do I want to get my leg day out of the way, or do I want to go to the beach and do some surfing and then do leg day? So stay tuned for whatever is next. I think it's a nap. Alright, just woke up from a nap, so now it's about noon. Nick and I are going to go surfing, so I'm going to make lunch really quick. So I have my vegan chicken strips, going to make some sweet potato, some vegetables, and I'm supposed to have 50 grams of avocado, but I'm completely out of avocado, so that's another thing I'll have to kind of make up later in the day. So let's get to making lunch. Just my plate of food. All right, surf's up. See you out in the ocean at Waikiki. 29th, and the content that I filmed for you guys earlier in this video was actually from Saturday, but I wanted to uphold what I said in my last video. I do want to get content out to you guys weekly. I really like just vlogging and being able to get pieces of my brain and not just have it in a digital form, or not digital form, but like in an oral written down form, like a caption on Instagram. I also just want to speak from the heart and have it like in video form, because not only is this for you guys and to like spread information, knowledge, and just have like that humanly bond and experience through understanding and getting to know one another, even if it's on the internet and not truly in person. But this content is also for me. It's a way for me to kind of get to know myself better, and in order, like it's also a way for me to just kind of debrief and get things out there for myself, almost like a digital diary, which I kind of prefaced that in an earlier video a few months back where I said welcome to my digital diary, because that's kind of what these YouTube videos are for me. So let's get into the topic of imposter syndrome and tell you a little bit more about what happened after surfing and things that happened earlier this week or last week. So I never want to be that person that's like throwing myself out there as perfect, hiding all of the bad things, all of the things that I struggle with personally. I want to be a very clear, transparent type of person. So I will start back on Thursday when I got my extensions put in and when I had my IUD consultation. So that was an extremely busy day for me. I started right when I woke up to like 6 in the evening. So I got my OB appointment, had to rush and get my hair done because those started to get like really close together in timing, and I was afraid I was going to miss my hair appointment. And then after that, I went to go see Top Gun with my boo, which was fantastic. But then at the end of the movie, I was faced with a choice. Do I want to go and work out and do my cardio and, you know, not spend time with my boyfriend? Or do I want to go out to eat with him and spend more time with him and bond with him? Because he had the day off as well. And that's when things got a little tricky, because I value both so much. I value my boyfriend and our relationship. I value bodybuilding and what it does for me. And with the mindset of improvement season, you get told this time and time again, it's a time to give yourself back to the people who helped you have a successful prep. So that's kind of how I thought through it in my head, was I was giving back to Nick. It's hard for me because I've never had an off season with this much flexibility and had a significant other. If I didn't have Nick, it might be easier for me to say, oh, I would just go and work out. But that's where things get so complex on a social scale, because food is not just food. It's a way for us to gather, get together, socialize, bond, create memories. It's also that. So I ultimately chose that avenue, knowing full-heartedly the consequences, which would be doubling up on cardio the next day. So the next day, that's exactly what I did. I had Friday off, so I did 70 minutes of elliptical work, and yeah, it was a great lift. It was good. And then, let me say this too. So we went out to eat on Thursday. So Friday, after I did all of that work, I was starving and exhausted. I did not even want to make my own food. So we had a ton of leftovers from getting Thai food. So it's a slippery slope, as you can see. So I had the Thai food leftovers because 1, I didn't want to waste food. 2, I'm exhausted and, I was making excuses for myself. I even asked myself, what would a pro do? And I still chose the other way. So I'm not perfect. So that was Friday. And then Saturday came along and I tried to work out, but I was so exhausted after going surfing that my session wasn't really good, and I could not even fathom having the energy to do cardio. So even though I followed my diet that day, in my mind I was like, oh wow, like I'm gonna be really, really behind now. Like I already messed up my diet earlier this week. I'm missing my cardio session. So I was kind of, you know, following even further down that slippery slope. So then Sunday comes around and I'm mentally ready to like get myself back together and do the whole like I'll start on Monday type of attitude. So I got everything prepared, but I still didn't follow my diet. I just kind of let myself have that freedom, say, don't feel guilty about this. Let's just piece everything back together and we'll hit it hard again on Monday. Tuesday, I sent in my check-in pictures and we should be getting a response from my coach today because it is Wednesday and I check in with her on Wednesdays. So we'll see what she has to say. It's definitely not my best check-in. Obviously, I was still bloated from all the food and lack of exercise. I am up 2 pounds, but in my mind, I could be just that much further. So yeah, that was kind of the struggle of the week. Now, let me deep dive into a post I did make on Instagram. So this was something I was dealing with earlier this month that was really hard on me, but it's imposter syndrome. So it's when you are pursuing something new, maybe you're not even new to it, but you have, I wouldn't even call it a lack of confidence, but there's just that planted seed in your mind of just being told over and over again, you're not there yet, you have to have so much more experience, you have to have X and X and X in order to be successful. Imposter syndrome can really bring you down. So I said, I think I understand why off season is so hard for me. Because to me, it's not the fat gain. It's not the disappearance of my lines. It's nothing to do with my relationship with food, my body, or even how I train in the gym. It's just a matter of being in the off season and having imposter syndrome. Because in prep, it's easy to turn on that on switch. You have everything to a T, you make no excuses, you align every single ounce of your being into that end goal. But off season is a huge struggle because I feel like you can't take that same mentality because it's a time to improve and be more flexible. And like I said, giving back to others and giving back to other areas of your life that was so consumed. And I said this in my post too, if I strive for perfection, it's disordered. And if I strive for disordered, and why strive for disordered when I'm not even a pro? I'm just a girl who's done 2 bikini competitions. So it's that mindset, that imposter syndrome, the feeling of difference from the norm equaling bad. And I think that's something that's carried on throughout my childhood into adulthood. And it's something that I'm trying to grow out of. And here's one thing that I said in my caption that I really liked, but just like an author starts by writing, they may not see themselves as an author or perfect in their craft, but they act upon it to fulfill their dreams and happiness, even if those around them aren't doing the same. So with that in mind, I feel like I'm really healing my imposter syndrome, but I'm still trying to figure out how to really nail that off season. In a way, I feel like I've done 50% really well, and then the other half of me is like, there's so much room for improvement. So yeah, just trying to take it day by day and get things as perfect as I can to really build into the next season. So all right, I haven't opened my check-in email with my coach just yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that, see what she has to say. And I'm probably going to end the video here and I will start recording for my next week's video. So from here on out, let's strive for perfection, but understand off-season does mean flexibility. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That just motivates me even more to get more content out to you guys. It makes me it helps me know that there's people actually out there listening rather than just like talking to myself to a camera. So please subscribe and connect with me on Instagram at andyj_fit, and I will talk to you guys next week. Mahalo.